There's a ton of cities in Metro Detroit that claim to be number one, but we all know the deal. There can only be one number one city. Okay, that's just how ranking systems work. And according to my friend Ricky Bobby, if you're not first, you're last.
If you ain't first, you're last.
And this city is wanting to be first so bad, and I think it does. I think it really takes the ranking on number one in a lot of categories, but I'm going to let you be the judge of that. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you why so many people in Metro Detroit and from out of state want to move to this area, and why they want to be in this zip code, have this particular city as their address, and also some things that you should probably know before making that move to this city. And today we're talking about Birmingham, Michigan. Now, this is one city I'm sure you've heard of, but if you haven't, well, let me turn you on to it today. Hey, if you're new to me and new to my channel, my name's Eric, and my team and I help people make that move here to Michigan the right way, without the stress, without the chaos. We focus on the one thing that matters the most to you, and that's the ideal lifestyle. Because I know if you find the right lifestyle, then the houses will take care of themselves. So if you want to know everything you need to know about living here in Metro Detroit, Michigan, then make sure you subscribe and tap that little bell so you're the first to learn every time I come out with a new video, which is every single week. All right, so let's start with why everyone wants to live in Birmingham, Michigan. You know, the location is perfect. Birmingham is 20 minutes just north of Detroit, but it kind of does feel like you're in a different universe. I mean, we're talking tree-lined streets, walkable downtowns, with over 200 shops, restaurants, great schools, and they're consistently ranked in the top 1% of Michigan schools right here in Birmingham. Now, there are a lot of high income earners in Birmingham, and the median household income is $154,000. Now, when you compare that to the median household income for all of Michigan, which is $63,000, it does start looking very wealthy and more affluent. And Birmingham is not the type of place where you're going to find a bunch of chain restaurants. I can assure you, you're not going to find a Waffle House anywhere near Birmingham. Okay, this is not like some, get off the exit of the highway and there's a couple of gas stations and some restaurants. Like, none of that in Birmingham. The downtown is actually a lot more curated, and it's got more local restaurants. It's got some high-end restaurants, and for some reason, Birmingham is becoming more of like the burger capital of Michigan. I don't know what's happening in Birmingham, but like everybody's competing for like the best burger, and I'm here for it. There's just a lot of burger places in Birmingham, but the cost of living in Birmingham is expensive, and here's where it gets interesting. What you're going to find on Google is just scratching the surface. It's not the full story of what Birmingham is about. So in today's video, I'm going to go over the pros and cons that you absolutely need to know before making that move to Birmingham. All right, you guys, so let's talk about what makes Birmingham legitimately special. And trust me, there's a reason Birmingham has a wait list. Okay, there's houses that go up for sale and are sold within 24 hours. Okay, there's people wanting to be here, and for good reason. And the first one I'm going to get into on the pro side is the walkability and lifestyle. Birmingham is one of those communities that truly does have a walkable downtown and neighborhood feel. Okay, there's a ton of neighborhoods that are surrounding the downtown area that you can ride your bikes, run, walk. All these things are within walking distance to downtown. You've got parks, you got pretty much everything. So if you're looking for a lifestyle where you can live in the neighborhood, walk to coffee shops, boutique stores, farmers markets on the weekend, you want to head to the movie theater, downtown Birmingham, or just grab a bite to eat, downtown, that's all within a 10-minute walk. And you guys know this is Michigan, so we do have winter here, but the city does winter in a different way in Birmingham. The city does things where they're building heated igloos for outdoor dining. It's a little bougie, but it works here in Birmingham. And pro number 2 are the schools in the Birmingham district. Now, Birmingham Public Schools, this is really the crown jewel. You got Seaholm and you got Groves High School, which both have a ranking of 9 out of 10 from greatschools.org. They're college prep. Okay, so rates are about 95% for students who are going to college. So if you have, kids and school systems are really important to you, this is a massive draw for a lot of parents. And parents do move to Birmingham for this specific district. We got a couple of friends that are in Royal Oak right now, and they're looking at moving to Beverly Hills, which is also part of, the Birmingham school district. So there is some surrounding areas that you could get into the Birmingham school district without actually being in Birmingham. So that's a little fun fact for you, but they're looking to be in that neighborhood specifically for the Birmingham schools. And it's, like I said, it's that serious for parents. All right, and pro number 3 is for the safety and the community vibe that exists in Birmingham. Now, as a real estate agent, I can't tell you whether a city is safe or not, so I'm going to let the crime stats do the talking. And when it comes to the crime rate, it's 70% lower than the Michigan average. Okay, you'll see people leave their doors unlocked. That's not an invitation to go check them. don't do that. But this is a neighborhood where people do feel safe doing that. Okay, kids do ride their bikes to school. You see when school gets out, there's kids walking up and down the streets. The buses dropping kids off, walking to the homes. It's a really active community. It's got that small town vibe. And when it comes to the community events, this is where Birmingham really starts making sense for a lot of families and folks. The farmers market is downtown every single weekend. They have the art fair every single year. There's concerts in the park, and the community actually shows up to stuff in Birmingham. Okay, it's not just like a couple people down there that are like sitting on the lawn watching some concert in some small towns. There's a large crowd that shows up, and it's people from the community. Okay, there's real culture in Birmingham. And pro number 4 is for the location, and Birmingham is in one of the most perfect locations in the Metro Detroit area. Okay, hands down. It's right along Woodward, so you got a straight shot on Woodward, downtown Detroit. You could also take 75, but you're 20 minutes from downtown Detroit. You're 30 minutes from the Detroit Metro Airport, and you've got immediate access to 75. Like I said, Woodward is right there. So perfect location in Birmingham. So if you're working in Detroit, 20 minutes to downtown, or if you're working in Auburn Hills, Troy, or even some of the surrounding areas, because there is a lot of automotive, there is a big finance community in the area. It's right there. Okay, it's all right there in that sweet spot. All right, so those are some of the pros on why people love living in Birmingham, but let's shift gears here for a second and talk about some of the cons. What could detract you from maybe making that jump into Birmingham or considering it? Now, here's where things get real, because Birmingham, even though it is incredible, if you can afford it, and that's a big if, because the first con on our list is the price tag. The median home price in Birmingham is right around $1.2 million. Let me say that again, $1.2 million. And that's for a median home, not even the real nice ones. Okay, so if you're looking for $600,000 or $700,000 minimum for a starter home, you better get those snapped up pretty quickly. Okay, you better jump on those. They do exist. Okay, I'm not saying they don't exist in Birmingham, but they are going to be the ones that need a little bit more renovations. Some of the things that are happening with the real estate market in Birmingham, developers are coming in and they know they can get much larger price tags for some of these homes. Okay, there's homes that are on the market today for 4.8, 5.5, up to $7 or $10 million in the Birmingham area. So a lot of these lots are very valuable. So a $500,000 to a $800,000 home, developer will get that. If it's in the right location, they'll scoop that home up, knock it down, and build a $4 to $5 million home right on that same lot. But most homes in the Birmingham area, you're going to find somewhere between $800,000 and $2 million. So if you want something turnkey with actual space, you're pushing 7 figures pretty easily in Birmingham. All right, and con number 2, if you really want to call it a con, because really everything in life's getting more expensive, and the cost of living, if you go out of your house, I'm spending like $50 to just walk out my front door these days. And I joke about that with my kids because everything we're going out, like, oh, we're going to eat, great, it's $100. We're going to do this, it's $50. It's just like you walk out the front door and immediately spend $300 just like that. But Birmingham, the cost of living, you should be paying attention to that. The downtown shops, the restaurants, everything costs more in Birmingham. Groceries, haircuts, dining out, you're paying a premium for the Birmingham zip codes, and the casual dinners for 2, easily $100 or more. And the next con is the competition and pressure that exists in Birmingham. And I know this to be true. Like, there's so many people that are just kind of faking it until they make it in Birmingham. And there's this unspoken pressure. It's keeping up with the Joneses. It's real. You got the nice cars, the nice clothes, the nice houses. It's part of the culture. And if you're not wired for that, it can feel exhausting. Even the kids feel it. Academics are competitive. Sports are competitive. It's high achieving across the board, which is great until it's kind of not. All right, and con number 4 is the bubble effect that Birmingham has. Now, some people may look at this as a con. Some people may say, hey, I don't really need to go anywhere else, but it is real. Okay, there's a lot of cities like that. And I've tried to explain this to, a couple folks who are moving into the area and thinking like, okay, I'm putting my pin right here in this city. Oh, but look what's like surrounding these areas. And that seems great, from the map view. But once you get here and kind of get settled into everyday life, it really becomes kind of more routine. Like, what's within 5-10 minutes? Because you start getting traffic patterns. And you're like, wow, going in Birmingham from Royal Oak to Birmingham could be 10 minutes or 20 minutes, depending on the traffic. So you're like, I'll I'll just stick in Birmingham or go into Auburn Hills, for example. So Birmingham is gorgeous, but it is a bubble. Okay, and that's my point. You drive 5 minutes in any direction and you're in a completely different neighborhood with completely different income levels. People love that separation, but others find it isolating or disconnected from the broader Detroit area. But you are surrounded by other wealthy cities in the Metro Detroit area. You got cities like Beverly Hills, Bingham Farms, Franklin. These are all some of the top income earners, and the real estate there, you guys, is just absolutely gorgeous. So my point being is it can feel a little bit more isolated, but if that's what you're going for, it might be a pro for you. But if you do want to get out and experience a lot more that the Metro Detroit has to offer, that could be a con for some people. So the question you're probably asking yourself right now is, should I move to Birmingham, Michigan, given all the things that, I just heard about it? It's got its pros and it's got its cons. And here's my honest take. If you can afford it and you value walkability, top tier schools, safety, tight-knit community, Birmingham is one of the best places to live in Michigan, hands down. Okay, period, end of story. But, and there's always a but, you have to go in it with your eyes wide open. Okay, don't be naive to the fact, this is not a budget-friendly town. Okay, it's not for everybody. But if Birmingham is pricing you out from a real estate perspective, but you still value a lot of these things and want to be close, there's some alternatives. Check out Berkeley, Royal Oak, and Beverly Hills. Ferndale also, you get a similar lifestyle at pretty much half or a quarter of the cost of Birmingham. But on the other hand, if Birmingham checks all of your boxes and you can afford it, well, you'll love it in Birmingham. I guarantee it. Just know what you're signing up for. So if you are considering making that move here to Metro Detroit in 1 month or 1 year from now, and you still got questions about your move, about cities, about what it's like living here, in the Metro Detroit area, drop those in the comments below. And if you do want to go deeper and you got some specific questions that you want to get answered to help get a strategy and a plan together, book that Zoom call with me and my team. And we'd be happy to answer any questions you have and get a game plan together to make your move here to Michigan as smooth as possible. And if you want me to cover any other Michigan cities that I might not have done, or maybe you want to go deeper in some of the cities that I've already covered, or you just got questions about it, drop those in the comments below as well. I read every single one of those, and I'd be happy to take any requests for videos that you guys have. This is how this channel keeps growing, and we keep getting to help more and more people make that move here to Michigan. So I got some other videos right here that are all things Michigan, so go check those out, and I will see you on the next one.